Hi, welcome, welcome. So glad you've joined today. I am Kelley Pitts, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Lubbock, Texas. And I have a blog and website at createwithkelley.com where I sell all the products, the Stampin' Up! Products that I am featuring today. And we're going to be doing a country floral bouquet card. This is for those of you who took my online or in-person class for country floral. This is the last of those cards that I've done videos for. So this is the fun fold number 6. And I'm thrilled that you're here, and I will go back and try to put some measurements on those videos. I just have kind of gotten behind doing paper shares and all kinds of fun things. So hello, I see a Facebook user. I can't tell who you are. You have to give StreamYard permission to show your face and show who you are for me to be able to tell. But I'm glad you're here watching. Whether you're watching live on YouTube or live on Facebook or watching a replay, I'm thrilled that you're here. You're helping me build my very small business, which I have been doing since 2005, actually, part-time. And then this last year, I was very blessed and I'm able to do this full-time. So it's really exciting to be able to bring you these techniques and tips and designs and everything on video and in online classes and in person here in Lubbock. So I'm happy to have you join. And like I said, we're going to make this cute little card today. And this is using products out of the mini catalog, which just started January through April 2023. And if you don't have a copy of it and you don't have a demonstrator, I'm happy to send you a copy of that and our celebration catalog, which is going through the end of February. And this, in case you're not familiar with celebration, this is the best time of year to stock up on your Stampin' Up! Products, whether it's a Paper Pumpkin monthly craft kit subscription or products out of the mini catalog or products out of the annual catalog. You earn a $50 credit when you do that. So, or $50 free product out of celebration, not a credit. $50 level or $100 level out of the celebration catalog. So today we're not featuring these. We are featuring some other products out of the mini catalog, though, this new catalog. So if you have any questions about either of these catalogs or interested in the joining special, we have that going on right now. I'll kind of talk about that at the end. But right now we'll go ahead and get started with making the card. And I will try to give you measurements as I go, but like I said, I'm going to come back and post measurements. Let me show you how the card opens. I call this a triple flap fold, I guess, or maybe a horizontal triple flap, but it opens like this. Wait for it. What? How fun is that? I have had a great time with this Country Floral Lane Suite, which has the Country Floral Bouquet stamp set and punch that coordinates with it. So, and then the Country Floral Lane Designer Series paper is just beautiful with it. So we've done lots of fun things with it, and you can go back and watch the other videos if you haven't seen the other 6. But I'm so glad to have you Facebook users. I'll show you, here's what your comment looks like to me, so I can't really tell. I've got 2 different ones here. So I'm glad to have you both. Okay, we are going to start with Mint Macaron card base. And let's see where my little ruler is that I brought in here earlier. And then I tried to tidy up, and let's see where it's behind here. Oh, goodness. Okay, here it is. I thought I had one. Okay. This card base is your typical 8.5 by 5.5, and this is scored, since it's going to meet in the middle. That leaves this as 4 1/4. So you know that the scores are at 2 1/8, because 2 1/8 is half of the 4 1/4. So there you go. There's your lesson for the day. Hopefully you'll learn more than that. Okay, let me switch the camera. So we're just looking at the card larger. Hopefully that will help you. Okay. We're going to take our score line. And when you have a score like this, especially on a gatefold card like this, you want to make sure and burnish your edge really well on the first side. And then I don't go ahead and burnish it on the next side until I have folded it over. I want to make sure this meets exactly in the middle. It's hard to do that just measuring on your score tool or trimmer and scorer. So I pull it over. I'm pulling this right side over to meet the left side in the center, and then burnishing. So now I know it's not going to have a weird funky gap here in the middle. It's going to meet in the middle. Does that make sense? Well, hi, Rebecca. Sorry you're not showing up as you, but thanks for letting me know. Glad you're here. And Rebecca's already made this card, and probably several like it. She goes home and does her own creations, which is awesome. That's what we hope you do. Okay, we've got that piece. Then I've got the 3 here. I've got 2 that are balmy blue and 1 that's petal pink. And those are all, let's see, use a ruler the right way, it would help, huh? 1 5/8. 1 5/8 by 4. Okay. So let's get to, we'll go ahead and assemble some of these, kind of get a start to our card anyway. Okay, and I have the blue at the top, and it helps me to kind of put them in place when I'm about to glue, so I'm sure I'm getting the ones where I want them. So we have the 2 bicycles, and this is, you could call it auditioning your pieces. Here we go, and see if we want that one at the top and that one at the bottom. I think so. I kind of make that decision if I've got 2 pieces that are similar. To me, if a color is darker, it feels heavier. So I put the darkest pieces at the bottom, if that makes sense. So this has 2 dark ones. That has a light. The petal pink seems lighter than these 2 colors. So I'm going to put my heavier ones at the bottom. That may sound crazy, but you know, we're all here to learn and see how everybody does their crafting projects. And that's just kind of how I decided which one goes where. And these pieces, the designer series paper, this is kind of, it is a little over, you really just have to measure on this paper. You have to measure in between where the bicycles are on a row, and then these little guys are on the next row. So really, when you're measuring the paper, you're not measuring at the exact width here, because some of them may vary just a tad. But you're trying to measure, you're trying to cut it halfway between the tire on the bicycle and the heart on the next piece. So all this was on 1 12 by 12 piece. So this is really like, it's not quite 3/8. It's really whatever that would be. Let me think here. How many 16ths is that? 1 2 3 4 5 16ths. I would say 1 5 16ths. And then this is 3 3/4. So you've got a 1/4 inch shorter than this way, and then it's a little bit it's about that image, about that much border on the top and bottom also. So you just kind of center that so you have a fairly even border. And then we're going to put, oh yeah, this piece I discovered I was running out of paper. So I didn't have the full length when I was making all these kits, but I decided I didn't need the full length. This is going to get covered up anyway. So if you got one of my kits and it has the shorter one like this, just stick it over at the right hand side. Just kind of get it even on 3 sides, your border. And that's all we need of that. Then we're going to mount, those will go on the front. And then while I've got my little silicone mat here, which I always use for gluing, it keeps it from getting all over your work surface and then sticking to the back of your card or somewhere you don't want it to stick. So these are going on the inside. I'll open it up and show you that. We're just kind of getting everything prepped. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those together. We'll stack these, and these hearts are done the same way. This was a 12-inch piece of paper, and it was just rows of hearts. And you really have to get, when you're cutting the paper, you have to chop just a teeny bit of this little heart off, okay? And then you're almost cutting the top of that off. But just be careful when you're cutting your paper. Just make sure you've got 5 full hearts and chop just a tad of that off, because this has got to be 5.5 is as big as it can be. This is going the full length of these petal pink pieces. And the petal pink pieces are 1.5, and they would be 5.5. And then this is about 1 1/16. But again, I determined that width by just how wide the heart was. I just evenly cut it in the middle of this row and the next row. And sorry, I don't have any more to show you. I have cut up all of my paper. We've had a lot of fun with this set. So, and you could use your favorite liquid glue on this. You can use Stamp and Seal, whatever you want. But it does go all the way to the top and bottom, and then leave an even border on the sides. As close as I can. That looks a little teeny bit off at the hanging over a little bit. So if you have that trouble, just snip that off. Okay. Hope y'all are having a great week and doing a lot of paper crafting. It's been kind of busy around here. I'm going to teach a techniques class tomorrow afternoon here in Lubbock. So if y'all are in the area, you want to let me know today. I'll be working on that. I've got several ideas, and I just haven't made up my mind yet exactly what we're doing. So I've got the rest of the day to work on it. And then I have that class at 2. So it's exciting to be able to have a gathering place for paper crafters who are like-minded and enjoy doing the same thing that I enjoy doing. And that is making cards for people and sending them and making them happy receiving the card, and you are happy making the card. It's a win-win all the way around. Okay, we're going to go ahead and glue. Let's see. Okay, we can go ahead and put these pieces in, get that done. So you always think about layering. What has to go on first? What does anything go behind this on here? We don't have any ribbon wrapped around. We don't have anything else. We don't have any stamping to do. So we're going to go ahead and get that going. I'm going to try to get some of this stuff out of your way so y'all don't have to look at all that. Hard to get everything in screen here. Okay. Move this down. See if that helps. Okay. Now we've already got this glued. You have a top and a bottom, and so just pay attention to what you're doing here. And maybe not get quite so close to the top. You do want to make sure all your corners have some glue, but it doesn't have to be solid. Your liquid glue is going to hold. These days, we used to have glues that really didn't stick that well or stay that long. So we're doing this on the inside of the card. So just leave an even border of the mint macaron with your petal pink and your designer series paper from the Country Floral Lane pack. And we'll just glue those in. Kind of get everything prepped before we get to the part where we need to stamp or die cut. Sometimes that's easier. Just get all the pieces that you can on the card first. Okay. Now, let's get this bone folder after that one more time. Okay. we're going to hold this. You have to make sure on these, again, we decided to put this one at the bottom and this one at the top. So you're only going to glue the top, the left portion of this. Okay. So we're going to put Stampin' Dimensionals here. So that means this is the side that's going to have this little piece, if that makes sense. Okay. So I'm going to put this like I want it. I'm going to flip it over because this goes underneath here, underneath this lip. This piece goes on the blue, the balmy blue, and it goes underneath the mint macaron. So we're going to go ahead and glue that on. And I thought I was going to like having this little border here, but I didn't. So I'm going to recommend that if you make this card, I would go ahead and put that all the way to the edge. We're going to get our glue mat here again. Making sure I've got the blue at the bottom. Yep, yep. Okay, so we're just going to glue this right here all the way to that edge. And again, some of you got a kit that's got this a full length strip, but you don't really need that. So I shortened them. And this is, I'll give you the size in just a minute. And we've got our hearts facing up on this part. So you make sure your bicycles are up on that side and your hearts are facing up here. Okay. Then we're going to take our Stampin' Dimensionals and I'm going to put those on this end. Hopefully we've got enough. I've got a lot of, and you're not going to go all the way to the middle because you don't want this to show. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to hold it up here, do a little auditioning here, make sure, yep, we're covered. We're using the dimensionals. We've got that side raised and they're not showing when you open the card. So those are the qualifications, I guess. Now we're going to get this about an even border. Kind of almost goes to the edge, goes almost to the top. You've just got a little bit of that mint macaron there. Okay. Then we're going to do the same thing here on this piece. 4 little dimensionals ought to do it. And I like to do the top and bottom piece like this and then come back and do the middle piece. Okay. And I've got a little, I try not to push it down too hard. I should have looked at this right hand side too on that border. I was thinking I needed to be a little closer to the left, but I didn't need to be quite that close. So if you don't push your dimensionals all the way down, you just kind of, like I was saying, kind of audition the piece, see where you think it's going to go, and just kind of lay them there. Okay, so I think we're good, but I'm not going to push those down really hard until I finish this up. Okay, this one is going to go here, and I'm going to attach it to the right side. So these two are this way. This one is from the right. Those are from the left. All right. So, but before, what kind of layering do we need? Is there anything else we're going to do? We're not going to add any ribbon, but we are going to add that piece on the back. So we've got to glue that first. So we've got this little short piece, which if you have it longer, that's fine. If you, let's see, this is 2.5 by about 7/8. And like I said, it's cut just so you're kind of going in between the bicycle row and the heart row on that designer series paper. I may see if I have a little piece of that at the end if we have time, and I'll try to dig out my paper share and show you that. Okay, so we've got that where it's going to show there. That's correct. Now we're going to put the dimensionals on this side. this corner right here. So this is on the opposite end than the balmy blue ones were. So these pieces are petal pink. These two are balmy blue. This is mint macaron, because those are the colors that are in the designer series paper. Okay, we're going to close this up and try to get this centered in between there. Okay. And I think we're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and get those dimensionals on there good. And we can do a little stamping. Next. Okay, I'm going to get my Stampin' Pierce mat out. No, let's show you. I wanted to show you how to cut this. I've already cut one, but for this kit. And this die, let me show you kind of what else we're using today, so you have a good picture. This is from the Country Bouquet stamp set, and that's part of a bundle that comes with a punch. That is the Country Bouquet punch. We're not I punched the little heart that's on the front right here. I punched that out with this. And a little tip, if you are going to be doing just a piece that you've stamped, if you're stamping on a piece of paper, you can either make a little stencil so you know exactly where to stamp, and stamp the right. Let's see if I can find you a good example. If you stamp a little stencil and then stamp inside, punch a stencil and then stamp inside that, then whenever you use your punch, it'll be right. And if you're just going to do a little heart like this one, I would say just pick a scrap piece of paper, which I'm going to waste some paper here, but just to give you the idea, I would pick, well, let's do a little better here. Let's pretend that this was a scrap. Because now, guess what? It is a scrap. Okay. So if you are going to stamp the pink heart on here, you're going to want to stamp it upside down, because that's the way this punches. Then you would take the paper, slip it in here, and you always slip it in from the top, and you're kind of doing this from the back, because you can't see where you are if you do it from the front. So you flip it over, move your piece of paper down to wherever you stamped. Boop, there you go. There's your punch. There's your little heart. So that's the easiest way to do that. If you're doing the leaves, you can do it the same way. Just put a strip of green in, and there you go. There are your leaves. And then the heart would be at the top. So just kind of pay attention to the direction of how it is on the punch when you're doing that. Just a little tip for you. Okay. And I would get this as a bundle, and I've heard that it's back ordered currently, but it should come back in. And when you get the bundle, you save 10% when you order both the stamp set and the punch together. Okay. Let's see if we have our little heart. Yes, we do. Okay. The other thing we're going to use is, these are some of the Something Fancy dies. And this is from a bundle called Something Fancy, I believe. 160424 is the dies. And it comes with, it bundles with a stamp set that's got a lot of little wonderful greetings that I did not bring in. But it is, let's just look real quick in the catalog now that I can show you the catalog, which is awesome. We can find that on the bundles. Well, I said we could. Let's see. Something Fancy, page 17. We have a wonderful index at the back that helps you find everything. But this is the bundle that I'm discussing, the 160425. And it's $45.75 for the whole bundle that comes with all of those, all these greetings, salutations, sentiments, whichever name you call those, and also the dies. And then the Country Floral set that we're using is this one, the Country Bouquet. the stamp set that I showed you and the punch that I showed you. And the Country Bouquet bundle is number 160383. And that is from the new Stampin' Up! Mini catalog that's January to April. And I'm happy to get you one of these catalogs, or you can find one online. Hi, Diana. We've got a hi, Diana. Are you Diana, or is that hi from Diana? I can't tell. Welcome. If that's welcome, Diana. Glad you joined. Okay. The only other dies we are using today, we're just going to use the scalloped contour. Scalloped contour? Let's see. Yeah, scalloped contour die, the largest of those. And that's number 155560. And I use these a ton for the inside of my cards, and then they're great for labeling the outside. And then we've done a ton of cards with that scalloped, big scalloped edge too. It's wonderful. Love it. Okay. So we're going to show you the new, well, not the new one. It seems new still, but it's the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which was right here. Hang on. I have to find that. Let's see. Yep. Okay. And we're going to get one of these out from the Something Fancy dies. And I used the largest one on the mint macaron, which I've already cut. And then I used the smallest one with the white. And then I wanted to show you how this works. And I'm going to cut the other one. We have two. We have one that's a leafy pattern and one that's kind of a tulip. And then one that is great to just run ribbon through. Okay, I'm going to show you how to use those. We're going to try a different one than I have here, and then y'all can pick which one you want to see on the card. Okay, this is our cute little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And you can actually earn one of these, or when you join, you can choose to put this in with your starter kit. We've got a promotion going right now just through February, which celebration is always the best time of the year, whether you're stamping or whether you're joining. And it looks like we have another Facebook user. Hi to you too. If you want to give StreamYard your permission to show your name and photo, then I'll know who you are. Okay. Or you can let me know in the comments. Whoever's watching, I'm happy to have you here and would love for you to comment and let me know where you're watching from, whether you're watching live or the replay. Okay, we're going to put the scratched up die on the bottom, and then we'll put the nicer not scratched up die on the top. Okay, we do have the smaller one. Yes, okay. So we've got a little piece of white, which just, you probably have a scrap that's going to work for the white. And you know what? We're going to cut this out at the same time. Let's see if we can do this. Probably need some washi tape. Okay. You can cut it individually or you can cut it together. We'll see if this moves, or you know what? I'm going to cut it separately. I'm going to go ahead and do it separately. We're going to run it through. That way I'm sure it doesn't move. Sorry, it's going to shake the camera a little bit. Ooh, it's a little squeaky. I haven't used this one as much as I use my big one because I don't always have to have my little one. It sure is handy right here, though, to have on the desk. I just usually work in my craft room. I think I'm going to switch to plate. Woo, sorry about that. I bet that was loud. Yikes, sorry. I'm going to switch to my plate number 3 because that one seemed a little tight. So we're going to switch to this one and see how we like it. Okay, we've got our white piece cut in the shape that we want it. And we're going to go back in and see how we like this little floral piece. Sorry about that. Well, hello, Wendy from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. Thanks for joining. Okay, we're going to put this in, and it's kind of that same shape. You just kind of leave an even border all the way around that, the white. Hopefully you can see that. It's not exactly, but that's close. All right, then we're going to go back and do that. Make sure that doesn't move. Probably be good if you had some Post-it tape or washi tape or something. Oh yeah, that was a lot better to use plate number 3. Okay, so there's that die. Put that up before we lose it. Now we have our cute little tulip cut out. How cute is that? And then you could use these pieces on a different card if you wanted to save those. And I'll let y'all decide which way we're going to go here, or it may be whichever one I stamp the best on. But this one, you can see when you layer this on top of here, that shows through. Now, if we wanted to, we could, if we only had a petal pink scrap, which I think we do, you could take your scissors and put this behind here and make that a cute little tulip. Why don't we do that? Okay, and I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue just right around the tulip. We'll put it mostly at the top, a little bit here. And then we may have to do that whole shape. I'm just going to have to see. I should have tried it first. See, that's why you audition your pieces, right? Practice what I preach and not what I do here. Oh my goodness. There we go. Let's see how that's going to work. We're going to trim that just a little bit. Okay. So you see what I did there? Just tried to get the pink just behind that area and leave the green area open because we want these green leaves to show. How cute! A little tulip. Now we're going to have a little tulip and a heart, unless we decide that's too much. We may not need it. We may not need the heart. Okay. I do love that this country bouquet stamp set has the I love that we are friends. I've got friends who no longer have a spouse and kind of miss out on Valentine's Day. And this is a great way to show them that you're thinking about them and wishing them a happy Valentine's Day, or even just send them something with hearts around that time period and say, I love that we are friends. Everybody wants to have lots of friends, right? All right, let's go ahead and stamp this. I've got my stamps mounted here from that country bouquet set. We have our handy dandy Stampin' Pierce mat, and we have our sweet sorbet. Well, let's see. I've moved my piles. Here's my petal pink that we're going to use for the hearts. Let's see where our sweet sorbet is. Put it back. Put it back in its place. Can you imagine that? Oh goodness, this craft room is used a lot. I kind of have a workroom area. For those of you who haven't been over here, I kind of have a workroom, and then I have a classroom, and they're connected with a bathroom in between, which is really handy doing classes here. So we have a lot of fun. Okay, I love that we are friends. We're going to stamp that right on here. Leave a little room for embellishments and top and bottom. Cute. Now we'll do our Happy Valentine's Day. And these stamps are both from that same set. And these are photopolymer. So you can see exactly where you're stamping, which is really handy. Move that down just a little bit. Put that there. Just stamp straight down, straight up. And close your ink pads up when you finish. And we'll got a great little chamois. Just clean those off, and they will stain, especially with the red color like this. This Sweet Sorbet will really stain your stamps, but it doesn't permanently damage them or anything. They'll just stay a little stained, but then you can use them for any color you want. After that, okay, we're going to use a little bit of petal pink and do some flowers. Let's see, this one I just did the open little flowers at the top. We could probably do one in each corner if we want, or use the solid ones. I think we've got a lot going on in here, so if y'all think we ought to do a solid one down here, let me know. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Wendy. I appreciate it. I always like to hear my cards are fabulous. I love to see what y'all do with them too. Once you take the design and add your own little twist. So we've got that in the petal pink. Do y'all want to see another little set of hearts on here too, or do y'all think that's plenty? Yeah, this is great paper. It's very flexible, and it doesn't have to be all for Valentine's. You know, it can be used for wedding and anniversary, anything like that. Anybody else have any comments about this? Do we want to put some down here just to see? Too crowded up there, but we could probably put some. We'll just put them. I don't see anybody objecting. So we'll do those in the petal pink also. And that way it gives you plenty of room to write your little message to your friend for Valentine's. We'll get this mounted on the inside. Whoops, I'm going to put that little teeny heart up before I lose it. Get these out of the way. Stuff just seems to get sucked into my desk and disappear. Disappears on me. Okay. We'll get this glued in the center there. And again, you can use your liquid glue. You can use Stamp and Seal, whatever your preference is. Anything will work there in the middle. And I've already cut that out, like I said, with that scallop contour die. I just really liked the way that shape repeated the curves of the hearts and the curves of the scallops. All just went well together. And now I remember why I didn't do that petal pink. I think our petal pink is the ink is a little bit darker than the cardstock. So that's why I chose those light hearts and not the dark, not the filled in. But a little late now, isn't it? Okay, so we have our inside finished. All we have to do is our cute little thing on the front. And you do have to pay attention and make sure. Let's just use this one and see. We'll see if we want to add a heart also. I don't think we do. We might want to add that down there. We'll see once we get it on. I'm going to go ahead and pop this up with dimensionals. If I can find that pack that I was using a minute ago. Which some hobbit has come and taken away from me. I've got little ones, so we might just have to use those. Here we go. Found them. Okay. So, whoops. Pay attention. I was just about to say, you got to pay attention to exactly where you put this. Oh, no. We're okay. On the white one. You can put all four corners on the white one. You just can't on the green one. Because this is going to be mounted to the green. To the mint macaron. I love designing cards that y'all enjoy. A lot of times I go back and I remembered that I did a Christmas card similar to this years ago. So I went back to my pile, my stash of cards, and measured it again. And I think it would be easier to have templates. That is my goal this year, is to start making some templates so that I can send out more cards, because I tend to hold on to them once I design them instead of sending them out, and then so that I have a sample. But that's not why we're making them. We're making them for people to enjoy. So I'm going to make a template just out of a solid color cardstock, and then put just some copy paper, I think, on for the DSP, and write on it with the measurements, and keep a box with those templates. So I'm putting it out there. It's out in the universe now. It's out there public that that's what my goal is, to try to do that and get my Create with Kelley crew people to do that, so that we send more cards, and yet we still have the ability to recreate a design if we want to. Okay, so you can see what I'm talking about here, where you really have to measure, kind of audition that piece to make sure it closes properly. See, there's just kind of a little bitty gap. I'm trying to get that where y'all can see it properly. Can you see that? Right between this green piece and these pieces, you've got to have a gap that will allow this to open properly. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. So we're going to have that all the way to the edge. And we're just going to try a couple of dimensionals and not stick them down very hard, just barely stick them. And I think this is going to have to go almost all the way to the edge to make this work. We're going to go ahead and put 4. And I'm putting them on here so I don't have to guess on the green where to put them. You could put them on here, but I think this is easier personally. So that's the way I do it. But it's your card. You can create it any way you want. Okay. So we're going to just we're going to go almost to that edge there. I'm barely going to press it down and see if this opens. See, oh yeah, from this side, y'all can tell, hopefully. See, I've got that little gap in there for this to fit in. So that looks like it works. So there we go. Yay. Now we need an embellishment. And I should have moved this up had I known we were not going to use that heart. Do we want the heart? Or do we want it like that? Maybe we want a couple more leaves up here. I kind of like the way this wrapped around that heart. I really like that look, but I wanted to show you all the tulips. So I think they're both cute. Just not sure whether we need this heart or not. Anybody have any? You're welcome for sharing, Wendy. Okay, we're going to get some embellishments out. And I chose the, let's see. Every time I move anything, some things disappear. Sorry, had to get a little sip of water there. Getting kind of dry. Do y'all have any questions or anything? I am going to use my Take Your Pick tool and use a couple of these embellishments. And we may just use big embellishments and not. Oh, thanks, Wendy. Thank you for, glad you like my rings too. Okay, who is that? Rebecca, who likes the heart on there? Let's play with this and see. And your Take Your Pick tool, if somebody like in a class or or you accidentally screw this top too much, you don't want to keep screwing this. You want to take the cap on and off, straight on, straight off. And the cap's obviously not on here. So somebody has gotten a big wad of putty, which you don't need. You really can get by with almost just this little bit of putty right here. So, but I wanted to show you that you can still use it as your take your pick tool. Let's go ahead and see if we want one of these. Hopefully you can see me pushing this. And these are the iridescent pastel gems. This is not what it shows in the suite of the catalog 160429. It's not the one it shows in the catalog, but it's the one I like the best. So I think I'm just going to put like that right there with the petal pink kind of color, because it's kind of petal pink, kind of goldish, kind of has a nice variety of colors here with it. I'm just trying to, maybe we want that upside down. Maybe we want that to be just a funky little just playing here, peeps. The heart looks, oh, okay, on the bottom right of the tag. Okay. All right, that's kind of what I was thinking. We'll go with that, Wendy. I'll stick that on, and then we'll figure out where we want to put the embellishments. I'm just going to use a little mini on this one. I think I'm going to move that. I'm going to move that right to here onto that green so that we kind of, nope, that's going to interfere with our closure. Can't do that. We have to put it up here. And we're going to Wink Estella that too in a minute. Let's see if we need the small. I think we can use a, maybe we want symmetrical. We're just barely going to put that there. Barely going to put this here. Too symmetrical. I'm just not a symmetrical girl. I like balanced, but I don't. That's a bit much. I think those are too big. We're just kind of playing here. Just wanted to see, since I had more space. We're going to switch this and then put the blue. And I'm just barely touching these so that we can, I put the blue on the heart. Oops. Sorry about that. I keep forgetting to take my comments on and off. All right. Now we'll do, maybe we did do a red big one. Can't make my mind up here. Or maybe want a big pink one and then put a red one there. Because the big pink, I kind of like that. That works and it's not too overwhelming. Let's make sure it opens properly. Yes. Awesome. Now with little Wink Estella and we will be done. And I probably don't have that in here. I took that out for my class yesterday and don't have it back in this room. I've got to open up more than one. So I would recommend adding a little Wink Estella maybe on your flower or your heart or both. But I will switch the camera back over and see if y'all have any questions at all. Okay. It's been fun today. Thank y'all for letting me show you one of my card designs and the wonderful suite that we have, and tell you a little bit about our join special where you can get the Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. You sign up to join my team, my Create with Kelley crew team. And when you do, you will be able to come to all of our team gatherings. have a lot of fun together with teams and just customers from around the area who come to classes. And you get your 20% discount. So you don't have to want to be a demonstrator. You don't have to do any classes. You can just choose to sign up and get a discount and enjoy that. And you will get, during celebration, when you sign up, the starter kit is $99, and you can order anything you want. Not just $99, but $155 worth of product out of either of the catalogs. Isn't that awesome? That's a deal. And then if you want an even better deal, you can add another $30, which is half off. So you would pay $129, and then you would also get the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with that. You could choose the white one like I had, or the new color that's coming in, the boho blue color. And I swear I've got these straight on the paper here, but but let's see if we can get it this way. Here, yeah, maybe that's a little better. If we do that, you got a little more room. Kind of hard to get it all in. Anyway, you get a heck of a deal, and I can tell you more about it if you're interested. And I do have classes coming up, and we'll have some to-go kits and all that. I do have a techniques class here in Lubbock on Sunday. So if you're interested in that, that'd be great. Thanks, Wendy. You have a great weekend too. Thanks, Rebecca, for tuning in. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and hope you have a lot of fun paper crafting ahead. Fun times ahead. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.